Hello everyone, this is Whitebox here with another game of Spirit Island. I'm going to be continuing my series of just true solo games, going through the horizons of Spirit Island spirits. This time, I'm going to be going with Devouring Teeth Lurk Underfoot. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce us to this spirit and then get started with this game. So long ago, the being that would become Devouring Teeth Lurk Underfoot was a small territorial spirit of the sand by water. It waited patiently for small prey to approach and then frightened them towards its waiting maw. When fresh prey was scarce, it would scavenge. Most such spirits stay tiny, but this one happened to take a bite out of ember-eyed behemoth. It slowly grew larger and more mobile, slithering below the land's surface in a way impossible for normal animals. It has learned to avoid conflict with the Dahan, who grew wise to its ways long ago, and has even formed a peace of sorts with them. The invaders do not have that benefit. So the setup here, I'm going to place 1 on my starting board in land number 5. I'm going to be doing board H this time, one of the other new boards. You start with your 4 unique powers and 0 energy. And playstyle here is that it likes being in the same lands as invaders, so it can use its range 0 offensive and defensive powers. The first of its innate powers can give some mobility if needed. Has a poor plays track and potent but expensive unique powers, so it can be better at handling fewer large threats than lots of little ones. And you can see in the starting summary here, hopefully you can see that pretty well, that it's mostly offense. So very, very aggressive spirit, and we're going to take a look and see how this works. So I do have 3 growth options. I think all of these new spirits have 3 growth options. Pick one. So reclaim cards and add a presence, gain a power card and add a presence, or add a presence and gain 3 energy. So similar to the Earth Spirits, it gets to add a presence on its reclaim. Always going to be adding a presence, which is cool. The special rule here, which I'll make sure not to forget this time, is Territorial Aggression. Your damage-dealing powers do +1 damage. So that's pretty good. It adds the power, or adds the damage total for the power, even if the power damages multiple invaders or each invader. It can boost minor or major power cards too, not just your uniques and innate. So I'm going to be looking for some minor powers. There are a bunch that do do 1 damage to invaders, and just having that extra +1 means that I can destroy a town, which is really good. Then my innate here is Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface. It's a slow power, range 1, targets invaders, and looks like it uses fire, animal, and earth. A little interesting. If you don't have presence in target land, gather 1 of your presence there. 1 damage for the 2nd level, 2 damage for the 3rd level, and then for the 4th level, it's an extra 2 fear and 4 damage. And the plays track, it does take a while to get up to 3 plays, so getting all of those elements is rough, but you can see that there are a lot of elements on the tracks, so you can hit those thresholds pretty reasonably, I think. And then let me go over its cards as well. So for these cards, first one here I've got is Ferocious Rampage. Let me hold that up to the camera. So Ferocious Rampage, it's a 2-cost card. It's slow, range 0, target land any. It's 1 fear, 3 damage to explorers and explorers in towns only. And then I get the +1 damage for my special roll. So can't kill cities with this one, but 3 damage to explorers in towns, +1, so it's always 4 damage. That's pretty nice. Be really nice against France, actually. Then I've got Mark Territory with Scars and Teeth. It's also 2 cost. It's a fast power, range 0. Defend 9, which is really good. 2 fear if invaders are present, and then push 2 Dahan. So I guess kind of similar to Downpour, where their defense card pushes out Dahan, so you don't get that counterattack. Same thing here. So he's pushing out the Dahan, so we don't get the counterattack, but can still defend. And he gets fear, so that's not bad. We've got this 1-cost card. It's slow. It's Herd Towards the Lurking Maw. And slow power, 0 range, targets any. It's 1 fear, and gather up to 1 town or explorer. Now, thematically, I was curious going into this spirit how this would work not being a beast spirit. There are no beast tokens in this game. But just looking at the art on this card, I feel like it's kind of like the Sarlacc from Star Wars. So that's what I'm going to consider this this spirit to be right now. Devouring Teeth Lurk Underfoot. It's a Sarlacc, dinosaur Sarlacc. That's my headcanon for this spirit. And then we've got Gift of Furious Might. It's fast power. Fast power targets another spirit. Remember, I'm playing true solo though, so I will be able to target myself with this card. And target spirit may deal +3 damage this turn with one of its damage-dealing powers. So that's really nice. So those are my power cards. I'm going to go ahead and set up my board here using the teal token as a marker for my growth options. So same as I did before for Sunbright Whirlwind. And I think I'm going to get started. So just like with Sunbright Whirlwind, I think since this is a showcase of this spirit, I want to go for plays so I can hit my innate powers a little easier, as well as use my unique powers more than going for a major build. The energy gain on this spirit looks really good, even with going bottom track, so I think I might be able to pivot to a major later anyway. But I'm going to try to showcase the special role and innate powers and stuff like that. So with that in mind, I'm going to go energy first. Some of these cards are pretty expensive. That gets me 3 energy. And I'm going to go from bottom track. I get to play... Oh, wait, I should do my initial explore first. So initial explore here, it's going to be mountains. So I'll add an explorer to each mountain. And there we go. So now I can go ahead and put in my presence. So I want to be where the invaders are. That's kind of my goal here. So with this thing, I don't think that I can hit the damage from death approaches from beneath the surface this turn. Yeah, I don't have any combination of 2 cards that I can play that will give me 2 fire, 1 earth, and 2 animal. So I won't be able to hit the 2nd level of death approaches from beneath the surface, unfortunately. But that's okay. I don't think that I need to just yet. I can do that next turn. So instead, what I might do is go for a Ferocious Rampage. That way I can clear out land 4 after they build a town there, and I'll just use my really high defense to keep land 3 from ravaging, and I can kill some stuff in it afterwards. So that's probably going to be the play, and also I can still at least hit the 1st level of death approaches from beneath the surface, so I can move my presence around. So let's go, I'll add the presence into here. I get 2 energy from my presence track as well, and then I have 2 card plays. One I want to do is Ferocious Rampage. That's 2. And then for my second one, I think I'll do Herd Towards the Lurking Maw. So that's going to be the play. Yeah, that will still let me hit the 2nd level of my innate power next turn, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so I think I'm all set. I'm going to go into fast powers, but I have none, so I go straight into the invader phase. Also, as a reminder, I am playing this series of games against Brandonburg-Prussia 3. It's not included with Horizons of Spirit Island, but it is included with the base game. So if you want to increase the difficulty of your Horizons games, definitely get the base game so you can get some adversaries like Brandonburg-Prussia and add those in. So that's why I have an extra town already in land number 3. And I've already set up my invader deck to reflect that. But I'm going to go ahead and build in mountains. So we got a town there, and a city over in land number 3. So that's the build. My explorer is going to be wetlands. That's okay. I think I can deal with that. So we got an explorer there, an explorer there. Interesting. Okay. So now I have a couple choices to try to get things resolved. So I was going to just clear out the explorer and town here, but because I get the extra damage from territorial aggression, I think I'm going to be able to kill 2 towns this turn, which should be nice. It'll stop a city from being built next turn. Doesn't clear out a land completely, but I don't think I need to just yet. So I'm going to use Herd Towards the Lurking Maw on land number 4. That does 1 fear, and I can gather up to 1 explorer or town. So I will gather this town into this land. Land number 4. Then I'm going to use Ferocious Rampage. So it's a 0 range power, also 1 fear, and it does 3 damage to explorers and towns only. Now, because of my special roll, I get to add 1 damage to that. So it's 4 damage, and that is enough to kill both of these towns. And get me a fear card. So I think that's pretty good. And then I also have Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface. I don't think that I need that presence in land number 4 anymore, at least for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface on land number 3 and gather one of my presents over there. So I just have a guy in that land for my defense next turn. And I think that's all I can do. So I'm going to discard cards and then go back to growth. Okay, so I have 2 cards left. If I play those 2 cards without getting a new power card, I'm going to have to reclaim next turn. It's not too bad, because on my reclaim cycle I get to add a presence, but I think I want to put it off and get some more cards out. Especially because I don't necessarily need to play Gift of Furious Might this turn. It might be pretty good, but I'm going to do Growth 2 and gain a minor. I've got Call to Tend, remove a Blight, push up to 3 to Han, it's okay. Call to Migrate, it's better elements for me with the fire and the animal. Call to Isolation, all the calls coming out, and Call to Bloodshed, wow. Okay, so I've got all the calls coming out. Interesting. Well, I think Call to Bloodshed is going to be the play, and that's going to let me deal with land number 6 and stop that, well, at least kill the town that gets built in the slow phase, or in the invader phase. It's also got decent elements for me, so that's going to be okay. Discard those there. So I got all the calls first draw, that's interesting. So I have a choice here. I definitely want to defend land number 3. I'm just going to stop Blitz. Normally it wouldn't matter too much. I don't want the Han to die though, so I'm going to try to keep that guy alive. And I can push that Dahan out into land number 4, so he can fight back and kill that explorer during the Ravage. So a couple things I can do with that. So that is one thing. Have to decide where to put my presence as well. It's probably going to be from top. So I get a choice between Gift of Furious Might and Call to Bloodshed. Now if I do Call to Bloodshed, I'll be able to stop whatever happens there. Or I could just kind of sacrifice the Dahan next turn, or rely on a minor power, and possibly just clear out land number 3 this turn. At least a lot of it. And I think that might be better. Getting an early city kill is pretty good. It's going to push me toward Terror level 2 and get a lot of fear. So instead of Call to Bloodshed, which I did consider, I'm going to do Gift of Furious Might. I get 2 energy from my present track. Ready for those. I also get to add a presence. I'm doing this kind of out of order, but it's all the spirit phase, so it's okay. So where do I want to add that presence? Probably into land number, let's see, 1 range, okay. Let's go into land number 2. Because I don't know that I'm going to have defense next turn for land 7 or 6. This is a slow power, so I do kind of rely on the minor that I draw, and that can be risky, so I don't want to worry about that. And the reason I pulled it from top here is because now I have 2 fire, 1 earth, and 2 animal, so that's going to get me the 2nd level of Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface. Now if I had gone from bottom track instead, I wouldn't have had that. And I want that 2nd level to get the extra damage out, so that I can clear out land number 3. Okay, so that should be good. Yeah. Yep, that's alright. Okay, cool. So I think I'm all set and ready to do fast powers. With my fast powers here, I'm going to do Mark Territory with Scars and Teeth and defend 9 in land number 3. It's 2 fear if invaders are present, and I also get to push 2 to Han. So I'll push that guy over into land number 4. Then I get Gift of Furious Might, so target spirit may deal +3 damage this turn with one of its damage dealing powers. I'm just going to put that on that just as a marker for when I use it. Let me check one thing here real quick. There we go. Okay, yeah, now all good. Okay. So those are my fast powers. Last one is slow. So I'm going to go into the invader phase. And I start the invader phase with a fear card. It's going to be Tall Tales of Savagery. So each player removes 1 explorer from a land with Dahan. Perfect. I get to stop that build there. Okay. So that is a nice use of that fear card. Then I go into the invaders. So they are going to Ravage in Mountains. This one's defended 9. They're doing 6 damage, so nothing happens. This one over here, they do 1 damage to that Dahan. And then the Dahan fight back and kill that explorer. Next, they're going to build in wetlands. So I get a town over in land number 7. Fear card stop the other one. And then they're going to explore mountains and wetlands. So again, mountains and wetlands. And that's actually alright. This wetland could be an issue, but this one's going to take care of itself in the Ravage next turn, so that's perfect. This one, I'm going to clear out a lot of stuff there this turn, so I think it'll be fine. Okay, so that's that. Now I go to my slow powers. And I only have my innate, which is Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface. So I'm going to use the second level of that, targeting land number 3. I get to do 1 damage, +3, +1. So 5 damage total. So I get to kill the city and the town. And that is 3 additional fear. Puts me 3 fear away from terror level 2, which is pretty good. And I think that is all I need. So, I'm going to discard these cards. And go back to growth. Now I don't want to reclaim. I want to keep gaining power cards, so I have another 3. I have Call the Bloodshed, which is not bad. It's actually decent elements for me. So I'd like to gain another power card here. So I can keep that going. Now, of course, the reclaim's not too bad. And with that reclaim, I'll be able to clear out land number 3 after they build, which is pretty good. It's going to stop a lot of things from happening. Now, they should have explored into land number 4, so put that in there. Okay, so what can I do? So this turn, this one's going to take care of itself. They get a town there, and city there, and then they're going to ravage again there next turn. But I'll have my defense up so I can stop that. So I don't think I can stop that first ravage. That's okay, though. I can potentially use Call to Bloodshed here to take care of that land after they build, so that's okay. So I think I am still good to get a minor and not have to worry about anything else. Okay, so my minor choices: Call of the Dawn Waves, that's always a fun one. Lure of the Unknown, Gift of Living Energy, and Rain of Blood. Nothing with Earth. Unfortunately, that is what I wanted, was something with Earth. So that is going to keep me from using the second level of Death Approaches from below the surface. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So instead, probably using something free is good, so I can save up some energy for next turn. Rain of Blood's not bad. but I think I like Lure of the Unknown because it's going to let me stop them from building a city in land number 7. I don't know that I need to do that, because I can always get in there and do a lot of damage later. Might be better to just go for the extra fear. So they're both free, so that's both good. So let me take Rain of Blood. Normally I love taking Call of the Hanways, but I don't think it really works here. And this will push me towards Terra level 2, so that's kind of what I want. Okay, I get 2 energy for my presence track, and I'll play these 2 cards. So I keep forgetting that I need to add a presence, and this time I do need a Sacred Site. I'm going to come from bottom. Yeah, that's fine. So let's go ahead and throw this into land number 5. So I have the Sacred Site, which can access land number 7. So it costs me 1 energy to play these. That's okay. And I'm ready to go. So I've got a Fear card, because I have no fast powers. It's going to be Scapegoats. In each land with towns, destroy 1 explorer per town. Okay, just 1. They're going to Ravage in Wetlands, so I do get a Blight over in land number 7. This guy is just going to die. Damage that to Han. And then they're going to build in Mountains and Wetlands. So I get a city over in land number 7. That's alright. Town here. And town here. Okay. And then I get my first stage 2 card. It's going to be Jungle. And then the escalation here for Brandonburg-Prussia is to add a town to a land that doesn't have a town. So I'd like to do that. I can probably stack up in land number 2. I think that's okay. Maybe land 8. It's interesting that land 8 is kind of... Yeah, that might be better, just in case they explore. And I can always use Call to Bloodshed on it later. Yeah, let's do land number 8 instead. Okay, so that is set, and now I'm good for slow powers. So first slow power here is going to be Call to Bloodshed. I'm going to use that on land number 4. I do 1 damage per Dahan, which is 1, but I get to add 1 to that because of territorial aggression. So I do 2 damage, killing this town, and that gets me a fear. Then I'm going to use Rain of Blood on land number 7. It's 2 fear, and if the land has at least 2 towns or cities, I add an additional fear. So 2. 1. And that gets me into Terra level 2, so that's going to be pretty strong. And it's possible even that I'll be able to get another Fear card before the next Invader phase, which would be good. I have 2 Fear cards at Terra level 2 to try to take care of stuff. And then I also have Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface at its first level. Unfortunately, I didn't get an Earth for the second level. So I can just gather one of my presents to a land if I don't have one there. I don't have to worry about land number 4. Don't have to worry about land number 6. 7 is an issue, though. So I'm going to target land number 7 and gather one of my presents in there. Okay. I think that's good. I might lose a presence in land number 3 this turn, but that's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. So I'm going to go back to Growth. This time I'm going to Reclaim, which lets me add a presence at a range of 0. I want to start going down the bottom track so I can eventually get to 3 card plays. I think that'll be good. So range of 0 here. Let's add that back into land number 5. Okay. I get 2 energy as part of presence. I would like to play Mark Territory with Scars and Teeth because that's going to stop a cascade. That's going to be very useful. And then as part of that, I am going to hit the second level of my innate just with that card. But if I can get another fire and animal, I'll be able to hit the third level, which will be really good. So I would like to do that. I have a bunch of cards with fire and animal. I could do Call the Bloodshed again. That would let me clear out land number 1, so that's not bad. For just Rampage is nice as well. Gift of Furious Might is the other one. I think I want to go with Call to Bloodshed. Let's see, I'll have to do the damage in there. That's okay. That's 4 damage. Yeah, I think that's alright. I can try to deal with land number 5 next turn. And it's possible that one of these fear cards is going to take care of it. So yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So I'm going into fast powers. I only have 1. It's going to be Marked Territory with Scars and Teeth. I'm going to defend this land, number 7, 9. I get 2 fear, because my Scars and Teeth are very scary. There's a Sarlacc somewhere. It's very dangerous. It helps if I pay for my powers too. So let's do that. And now I'm good for the invader phase. So I get my fear card. Didn't quite get that second Terry level 2 card, but that's alright. It's going to be Retreat. Each player may push up to 3 explorers or towns from an inland land. So yeah, let's get that out of land number 5 and stop that build. I was a little bit worried about that, but this will let me take care of it. And I'm going to go into land number 2, I think, and push that there. Because that's probably where I'm going to do my damage. And just clean that city up. Alright, Ravage in Mountains and Wetlands. So first I do get a Blight, unfortunately. It's going to be right here, which kills that presence. That's okay, though. Then it's going to be right here. It will do 1 damage. Han will fight back and kill that fool. Right here it's empty. And right here it's defended 9. So that 6 damage is not enough to get through my defense. So that was the Ravage. They're going to build in jungles. So they'll just get a town up here. And then they're going to explore in mountains. Again, keep getting mountains. I'll use my 3 times in this land. Put that guy over there. And I'll put that extra town into land number 2. Land without a town. Actually, I'm only going to be doing 4 damage there, so I can't kill that extra town. Just in case coastal comes up, I don't want to have the town there, so I'll put it into land 6 instead. Okay, so slow powers. I'm going to use Call to Bloodshed on land number 1. It's 1 damage per Han, and I get to add an additional damage thanks to my special roll. So I'll kill that town. That gets me another fear card. Then I have Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface. I'm going to use that. I might have to use it here in land number 3 instead. I wanted to use it on 2, but if I use it on land number 3, I can stop them from building a city, clear out most of those invaders, so I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to gather a presence there. I get to do 3 damage because I'm at the 3rd level of my innate, and then an additional damage because of my territorial aggression. So that's going to kill the town and 2 of those explorers. And get me a fear for that town destruction. Couldn't quite clear it all the way out, but that is okay. Alright, so discard those cards, and I'm back to growth. So a little short on energy, and I am going to be able to get to 3 card plays here this turn if I so choose, and I do think that I want to do that. I'm not going to be able to hit the highest level of my innate yet. That's pretty hard to do because of those 5 animals that are required. But I can hit the 3rd level again. That's no problem. And start clearing a lot of this stuff out. So I think I'm going to need the energy. I'll get 3 energy. Not sure if it matters where I put this presence. I have a lot of options. I can do it at 2 range, which is nice. Let's see, that Ravage is going to take care of itself, so that's fine. I think I'll just put it up in land number 8. Spread out a little bit across the board. Definitely want to play my Ferocious Rampage. I'll get my 2 energy for presence as well. Let's see. Rain of Blood. It's a lot of fear. I don't know that I need it. Also, I would need a Sacred Site for that. But I might rather do some damage instead. So I'm going to do Herd Towards the Lurking Maw and Gift of Furious Might. That leaves me with 4 fire, 1 earth, and 4 animal, so that is the 3rd level of my innate. And this turn I'm playing 2 damage dealing powers, not too bad. Okay, so that's all set. I have 1 fast power, it's just Gift of Furious Might. So I can target myself since I'm in true solo and give me an extra 3 damage this turn with 1 of my damage dealing powers. Then I'm going to go ahead and go into the Invader phase. So first up is a Fear card. Still Terra level 2. Trade Suffers. So each player may downgrade 1 town in a coastal land. I don't have a coastal town, so unfortunately that doesn't help me. Okay, then I go to the Ravage. So they're going to do 1 damage here. Damage that town, or Dahan, excuse me. And then Dahan will fight back and kill the Explorer. No other Ravage. Then they will build in mountains. That's okay. And they'll explore in sands. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to be doing a lot of damage to that coastal sands, I think. Okay. And then the escalation, add a town to a land without a town. Let's just throw it back. No, I'll do the inland, because it's less likely to come up again. Okay. Now I go into my slow powers. So I have Ferocious Rampage, Herd Towards the Lurking Maw, and Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface. I think first I'll use Herd Towards the Lurking Maw. And I'll herd this time from land number 3 into land number 2. That's 1 fear. Then I'm going to do Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface in land number 2. So that is going to do... Yeah, that's the play. So I'm going to add my plus 3 damage from that. So it's going to do 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 damage in that land, thanks to all my additional stuff, which is just enough to kill everything there. And that's perfect. And that's going to be 3 fear from killing a city and a town. So it puts me 2 fear cards away from Terra level 3, which is probably going to be my win condition this game. Alright, in addition to Death Approaches from Beneath the Surface, I've also got Ferocious Rampage. So with Ferocious Rampage, I'm going to use that on land number 8. It's 1 fear. 3 damage to towns and explorers only, which is enough to clear that out. Gets me an extra fear. Alright, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to discard these cards. And then go back to growth. And with my growth, I'm going to reclaim. I think I kind of have to. So, reclaim. Get to add a presence at a range of 0. So I could go for the Earth here and work towards 4 card plays, or I could get extra energy with that 3rd energy there. I'm going to have at least 4 energy, which should be enough to pay for everything that I want to do, so I don't know that I need the extra energy. I'll probably go for the Earth and work my way up to 4 card plays. Maybe. It's a tough choice, actually. Let's see, I can use... might just use the defense on land number 4. I can't, so that's okay. Yeah, I don't need to. I'll give up the Ravage in land number 4. That is totally fine, because the sands are empty, so I'm getting close to a win condition here if I can clear out the city from land number 7. So let's work towards that. So before I place my presence, I'm going to decide what cards I want to play. In order to do damage to that city, I need to proc the innate power Death Approaches from beneath the surface. So I can really do that with any amount of cards that I have. And if I use Gift of Furious Might again, it's going to let me do enough damage to kill the city and the town there. I'm still, looks like 7 fear away from getting to Terra level 3, so I do need a bit more fear. I'll get 3 for destroying the city and the town, so I need 4 more somewhere. So Rain of Blood is going to get me pretty close. And I can get an extra one from Herd towards the Lurking Maw. So with that, I don't think I need to go from bottom. I can go, or I don't need to go from bottom. I can go from top. I've got the 3 fire that I need, so that should be good. And I want to be able to target land 7 with Rain of Blood, so yeah, that should be all set. So I think I'm going to win this game in the slow phase by getting just enough fear to get to Terra level 3 and killing that last city. We'll see what happens. So, pay for my powers. I get 2 energy. And we'll go towards those. And then we go to fast powers. So only fast power I have is Gift of Furious Might, which lets me add 3 damage to one of my damage dealing powers this turn. Then I get a fear card. My fear card here is going to be Belief Takes Root. So lands with presence have a defend 2. Each spirit gains 1 energy per sacred site they have and lands with invaders. That's 1 sacred site. Alright, then I'm going to go to the Ravage. So right here, doing 1 damage, not enough to blight the land. Here, they do. They're going to blight that land and destroy that Dahan. So unfortunately, I did lose the Dahan this game, but that's okay. I can work around that. Then I'm going to build in sands. Both sands are empty, so that's fine. And then explore coastal. Alright. Your last explorers. Brandonburg-Prussia. They're about to go down. So now that the explorer's done, I can go ahead and do my slow powers. So first up, I want to do Rain of Blood over on this land. It's 2 fear plus an additional fear, because of the 2 Townsend explorers there. And I realized I'm actually closer fear-wise than I thought I was. I thought I needed an extra 6, but I didn't. So I'll be definitely good. So now that I've done Rain of Blood, I can herd towards the Lurking Maw. Let's go ahead and gather. I'll just gather another town in there, because I think I'm going to be doing like 7 damage. So I'll gather a town into here. Gets me 1 fear. And then I get to do Death Approaches from beneath the surface. So I'm going to target land number 7. I get to do 3 damage from just my innate, just because of the levels that I hit. Plus 3 from Gift of Furious Might, so that's 6. Plus 1 from Territorial Aggression is 7. That will kill the city and both towns. Getting me 4 fear. Yep, so that's just another fear card. And that pushes me into terror level 3. You check for a win condition automatically, and right now there are no cities on the board. Sorry about that. There are no cities on the board, which means that I win. Terror level 3 victory with Devouring Teeth Lurk Underfoot. Well, let me go ahead and score this game up. I think it might be a little low because of all the blight that I added. I could have maybe done a little bit better with my blight management, but letting 3 blight get added, letting 1 Yahan get destroyed, it's a small price to pay for destroying all of those invaders. Okay, so this 1-player game against Brandonburg-Prussia 3. I think I had 4 cards left. Yep. Dahan 5. Blight 4. It's sad. I like having cleaner islands, but it happens. Terror level here was 3. Lands occupied, I think 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. Okay. So this was a 49-point game, not too bad. It's right around my average. And considering this was a mid-difficulty, I think Brandonburg-Prussia 3 is difficulty 6. That's okay. I'm definitely fine with that score. So yeah, the Spirit's interesting. All damage, pretty much. It does have the 1 defense card as well. A little slow to get going, I think, but it seems like it can do quite a bit of damage once it gets there. Kind of like... I guess, Vengeance, a little bit. So, in a similar way, it wants to be in lands with invaders. It wants to do a lot of damage to them, and that damage gets easier and easier to do as you get to late game, and is much easier to play than Vengeance. I think this is a nice low difficulty spirit if you want a high damage dealing spirit. If you can get some minor powers that add damage, like I had with Call to Bloodshed, just adding that extra damage is really nice. It can kill a town if you're just doing 1 damage. If you're getting a card that does 2 damage, you can kill a city. And there are a lot of minors that do that. I think the Spirit can also definitely go for a major build. The energy gain you get from the top track is really good. It gets up to 7, and you get a couple elements from that track as well. So especially if you got one of the beast majors, getting fire and animal, that tends to work pretty well. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm definitely going to keep this series of games going for the next couple weeks, Horizons games. So let me know what you want me to play next. I have 3 spirits left that I've not touched. I've got Fathomless Mud of the Swamp, which is cool. Played Sunbite Whirlwind. So I've got Eyes Watch from the Trees. I think this one might be the one that I'm most excited to play. And then finally I've got Rising Heat of Stone and Sand. So I'm good with any of those, but let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone next week. Thank you.